Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Built Like This podcast. I'm your host, Maxine. We're on episode 333. Woogly, woogly, woogly. I just had to. 333. I just had to. All right. Well, welcome. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support and your subscription to this broadcast. Let's get into these topics. I want to start off with Cry Reese. Cry Reese. I want to get started with Cry Reese. Who am I speaking of? Tyrese. Yes, the R&B legend that he is, the living legend, the crooner, Tyrese. He's been given this moniker of Cry Reese now because he's been crying a lot. A lot. And this a lot meaning for the past 3 years, 4 years since his ex-wife left him. And look, I know we want to be in the stage where, Black men should have the liberty to cry and express themselves. And that is still true. I do still believe in that. But enough is enough. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. And I think this goes for anybody. It's not just him being a man. I mean, there's an added layer to that. But I feel like when you're always hemming and hawing and crying and moping about your ex-wife, particularly when you are in a new relationship with the woman who he whenever he does briefly mention her, he'll say things like she's the love of his life and he's never been in love. Like he'll say all the things that he once said for his ex-wife, which gives the impression that, like, okay, what's really true? Like, do you feel this like undying love for her just as you did for your ex-wife? Just as you still, I mean, look, yes, you can love multiple people at the same time, sure. But the way that he expresses his love, like he doesn't talk in a sense of like polyamory type of sense. He just talks in a way that no, that was a different type of love. This love, like it's like he's trying to circle back and change how he felt for his ex-wife, trying to big up his new girlfriend. And I think he's doing that to cushion the blow because clearly he is still very much hurt and very much sad and probably still in love with his ex-wife, still very much so. And I think that is a hard pill to swallow if, like, for any woman. I can't imagine what his girl, and I remember watching a video of them together. I guess she's an influencer, she has a lot of followers and she has a particular type of body, and she is a Black woman, but she's a Black woman compared to his ex-wife, who Tyrese would say she's a real Black, she's from Egypt. Like he'll like do all this dumb shit. It was like, okay, but she's still racially ambiguous, so let's start there because her appearance is still like it could give you Portuguese, it could give you, let me just show y'all because what's her name? Samantha Gibson. Okay, that's his ex-wife's name, the mother of his second child, Samantha Lee Gibson. She is, it says, social worker and Tyrese Gibson's ex-wife. That's funny. Like that's her description. But let me go ahead and show y'all what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the woman here. Yes, of course, we know Black women are not a monolith. I know y'all love to use that word. Please stop. Just like gaslighting and narcissists. Enough. But when you look at this woman, you don't immediately only think Black, at least. You may think Portuguese. You may think from Spain, sorry, a Spaniard. Like this is, so, and he would say, I remember when he first got with her, and a lot of Black women, at least, people online, who knows, they could have been bots from Russia, But they would say, oh, why don't you love a black woman? You know, you should be with a black woman. And then he will always get on the defense, of course, and say, well, she's the blackest woman I've ever been with. She's directly from a country in Africa. I don't know exactly where she's from, but that's what he said. So it's like, okay, all right. He would defend her to the bone, okay? And he was crushed when she filed for divorce, which again is fine to feel sad and hurt. And apparently he's been through a lot with his ex-wives. Wait, this is his second marriage, right? Let me see. Who was his first wife? Because I remember I know he has a first child by another woman. And yeah, who's she? Tyrese Gibson. Yeah, I think this is the other woman. The first. There we go. Yeah, so he was married prior. So this is okay. So 2 marriages down. Okay. I don't know what happened. Oh, I think he mentioned this is all coming up in my head right now. Finally. So I do believe he said with his last wife, his second wife, Samantha Gibson, who I just showed y'all, doesn't he seem to have a type, right? Well, whatever. Preferences is what preferences are. His I remember he talked about how his ex-wife Samantha Lee Gibson, he never cheated, he never hit her, like he never did anything to warrant her filing for divorce. In comparison to his first wife, he did a number of things that led her to finally leaving him. So he was totally just taken aback that she could leave him. Like, do you know who I am? I'm like, I have all the girls at my feet. I could have any girl I want, and I chose you. And how could you do this to me? Like, he is so flabbergasted that she filed for divorce. And later on, we learned that Samantha Lee Gibson actually felt remorseful because she admitted to listening to her single girlfriends and regretted it. And which is a thing that a lot of women do. We fall victim to what our friend group has and what they're saying, and then we think, oh well, I should leave my man too, right? Or I should get with this type of man, right? And then you follow their quote unquote advice, or you follow their lifestyle, and then you realize, no, dang, I should have stayed where I was. I should stay my black ass where I was. But yeah, this is Tyrese's first wife. Her name is Norma Mitchell Gibson. And yeah, so he's had a couple of marriages, both failed. And let me show y'all his current girlfriend. Okay. And mind you, I remember this girlfriend. Yeah, this is her. Doesn't she look like the what's that? That speller bee? That girl. Cavanche. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The one, she looks just like her. You know who I'm talking about. But she's a pretty girl. Pretty girl. Is given Asiatic features, but which is still very much African features because it always comes for us. But anyway, this is who she's with. This is who Kyries is with now. Beautiful woman. Yeah, he keeps talking about his ex-wife. And I would be like, nigga, what the fuck? Enough. So, I mean, yeah, her name is Zelly, and she is some type of info. I mean, she's a beautiful woman, so she's like an Olympian, right? Anyway, but he does all this extra stuff like, I've never felt love like this before, and it's like, you've said that for your last 2 wives. And I still do believe that, yes, you can feel like a new type of love for the next person, XY. I do get that, but I just feel like he says the same thing over and over again, that it just feels a bit disingenuous, in my opinion. Anyway, Tyrese was on The Breakfast Club just a few episodes ago, and we see that he is just still bawling about his wife, his ex-wife. And yes, this was a conversation that took place due to Charlemagne asking about has he dealt with grief, and he talked about the passing of both of his sisters, which is really sad, and the passing of his mother, who I remember he mentioned she had an addiction. And then John Singleton, who he worked closely with from Baby Boy. But then he kind of, and like all that is understandable. You get that. Sure. Got it. But we also see him like kind of going even further into his sadness from his ex-wife. So let me see if I can find that clip real quick for y'all. But it was just a lot. And then, it was just a few years ago he came off of his medication binge that he experienced poor side effects to, and that led to him having these outbursts and these crazy videos, him crying, him saying, "What more do you want from me?" It's like, I do feel sorry for him. I just wish that I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I think there's something going on mentally, and typically when people say mentally, oh, that means he got to get treatment. But I don't know. Let's see what that did.
And letting it go.
Yeah,
Show
because you've
y'all
been
this.
holding it the whole interview. I've been
Okay,
watching you.
you asked me the question.
I did, but I mean, I'm getting you.
You should have never asked the question
I love you,
if you
brother.
didn't want to see
I love you, brother. I love you. I love you.
how hard it's been to get through.
I love you. I love you, Black man.
Okay, do you not cry?
Absolutely.
You might not bring it to the radio,
Absolutely.
but this is what being grown
Thank
is.
you, brother.
I'm not doing this.
I need one. My makeup gonna mess up.
Hear me.
My concealer
Hear
is
me.
sitting today.
Hear me. Black men cry. When divorces happen, women aren't the only one that are devastated.
And yes, that's true. Got it. Understood. But Tyrese, let's go back to when she filed. When did he get a divorce? This was in 2009, y'all. 2009. That's literally the actual divorce date. I just Googled it. August 20th, 2009. Now, I don't know how quick the divorce was for them. I know he was back and forth in court. I think he still is back and forth in court. But nonetheless, let me share this tab. This was in 2009. It's 2024. Hello? It's been 5 years. It's been a long time. And yes, that's not sure they have kids together. He has to still see her. I get it. But now you are in a whole new relationship. And people typically say when you get in a new relationship, you gotta forget about your past, or you forget about that pain that was there, or you just move on. And it's just so sad that he's having a hard time moving on. That's what he's having a hard time moving on, and I just feel so sorry for him. Like, this was, maybe I did it wrong. Hold on. Norma Gibson says 2009. Okay, maybe I did it wrong. Hold on. Oh, okay, I did it wrong. Maybe they're not divorced. When did Tyrese and Samantha get divorced? Okay. 2021. Still, my nigga, that was 3 years. Okay. I don't know. Yes, of course, it's sad. Yeah, all these things, I agree. And I'm trying to be sympathetic here. But he's gone through it before. Like, is this new? So, and let's look at the time, right? He got his first divorce ended in 2009. He got married shortly thereafter to his second wife, and then they got divorced by 2021. So what's the trend here? You seemingly quickly move on, yet you're still harping on your last wife, your last marriage. while you are now in this new long-term relationship with your new lady. It's just a lot. And I feel sorry for him. I wish him well. I hope he could get the healing that he needs. I'm just tired of that word too, healing. Just, I don't know. I'm just anyway, God bless him. I wish him well, and I don't know. I don't want to say too much about it. It's just a lot. It's a lot, and I wish him well. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's all. And I wish his girlfriend. I wish his girlfriend well also, but that's a lot. She must be a strong bitch because, huh? I'm sorry. What? All right, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I'm not at work. Okay, so update on Breonna Taylor. This is gonna take a quick morbid turn, a quick one. Okay, this is a hard topic to discuss, but I'm here to deliver the news, the hard hitting news for you all. Federal judge clears 2 cops charged in Breonna Taylor's death. Huh? What do you mean, Maxine? I mean exactly what I just said. A federal judge cleared Joshua James and Kyle Meany, interesting last name, of felony charges last week. The 2 former Louisville police officers were accused of falsifying a warrant that led to a 2020 police raid, which resulted into Breonna Taylor's death. If you guys remember that tragic moment that happened, which led to an outcry, hysteria. It was a lot going on online and in person at the workplace. It was a lot. U.S. District Judge Charles Simpson ruled that the actions of Taylor's boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, were the legal cause of her death. Yes, this judge in particular is blaming the death of Breonna Taylor to her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, who was at the home with her while the raid took place. The raid that was falsified, the raid that was given a falsified warrant to happen. So you would think the cops were still to blame because they got a false warrant to raid the house. You know, like, I don't know. It's like it's trickling down, but what started it was they got this false warrant. Were they not aware that it was a false warrant? Did they think that, anyway, the point is the judge is saying because Kenneth Walker fired a gun at the police, it led to the police firing back, which led to Breonna Taylor's death. Walker fired a gun at the police executing the drug warrant. Officers Brett Hankerson, John Mattingly, and Miles Cosgrove, when they entered Taylor's apartment in March of 2020. Police fatally struck Taylor when returning Walker's fire, sparking nationwide protests accusing the cops of police brutality. And yeah, this was during a time in which it was already COVID season. Well, we didn't know how long of a season it was going to be. Season sounds short, right? It was a long winter, so to speak. And it was a dark time for society. A lot of us was experiencing loved ones passing away abruptly, and a lot of these sudden acts of police brutality, particularly towards a demographic that is of the minority. It was a lot to take in during just a trying time. So when this happened, it only added fuel to the fire. And to now finally get this update of Breonna Taylor's death being blamed to her boyfriend is just hilarious. I don't think hilarious is the appropriate word here, but it's just wild to me. Like, dang. Still, there's no accountability being held. I think if we want to talk about like all the steps in order, the first step should be the false warrant that was given to these officers to give them the wherewithal to just barge into their home and invade their space. I think naturally, I don't think, not even I don't think, her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, he wasn't just like, he wasn't trying to shoot up the police. No, he was defending himself against an intruder. Because at the time, he wasn't aware that it was the police. And I don't think they were even properly dressed as such for him to get the understanding that, oh, this is the police coming into, I don't think it was one of those. But then the conversation also leads into, well, he was involved in criminal activity. He was a part of the drug world, and Breonna Taylor should have known better. Breonna Taylor should have never been with someone like that, and that could lead you down a rabbit hole that could end in fatality. I mean, that's another conversation too, right? But I think the point is, he wasn't, I could assume. I wasn't there. I don't know his actual intention. Did he know that the people coming into his home, what they visibly police officers? But I think because he's already in this life, he just assumed probably that this is just another situation of street people coming in, his fellow peers in this street life that he's a part of, coming in to invade his space, to violate this boundary of home. Nonetheless, this judge still feels like, not even feels like, has claimed and put a stamp on the fact that Breonna Taylor's death is due to and only to her boyfriend firing at the police. I think it's just a slap in the face of whatever justice we thought was going to finally settle and just end this tragedy that took place. I'm sorry that she lost her life in the midst of this. It's just it's a disturbing situation, and just may she rest. May she rest. All right, let's move on to Florida. Florida is still cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. There is this parent in Florida. Well, there are a lot of parents in Florida who are just horrible parents. Like, I'm going to show you this photo and I want you to tell me what's the problem. Tell me what the issue is. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this image here. You see a parent, a mother, however she identifies, is holding a hand of her son, who is clearly wearing a tutu and this tube top, and they are both draped in rainbow colors, which of course indicates LGBTQ plus community. And this mother is carrying the sign, "My son is gender creative and fabulous." This child, okay, because that's what he is. He's a child. Can't be no more than 7 years old. He can't be, maybe 8, but he can't be no more than 7, honestly. And he's gender fluid or creative and fabulous. What are we doing? This is some sick-ish that we are living in. The times that we're in is so sick. For this mother to proudly parade her son in a format that's actually inappropriate. that's actually inviting predators to look at this child and see him as prey and see her as a willing participant of her son getting preyed upon. This is disgusting. And women like her, parents like her, who somehow use their children to appear trendy or part of the cool kids. There's this narrative in our society that if you're in this quote unquote community, you're so woke, you're positive, you're on the right track of history. And I'm not here to push this hatred towards anybody or any groups of people. But what I do want to emphasize is protecting the children should be the priority for anybody, whether you're a parent, whether you work with kids closely, whether you have kids in your life in any capacity. You should understand the protection of children should be just that. It should be sacred. It should be a protection of children. And this is not protecting your child. It makes no sense to me for a child to be dressed like this and the parent to think it's appropriate to parade her child barely dressed and admitting to the world, look, not even admitting, because this is not real. I'm saying this is not real because you can't tell me a 7-year-old could tell you, Mom, I'm gender fluid. No, you're feeding this toxic information to your child, and now your child is indoctrinated in it and believe this garbage. That's what it is. It's garbage. It's one thing when you grow older, right? You realize, hey, I'm finding myself attracted to the same sex. Got it. But there's no excuse, there's no reasoning at all that you could give me that makes sense for a 7-year-old to be dressed like this and to be identifying as such. To say, oh, I actually go by pronouns of, if you don't get out of my face, get out of my face. It's crazy. It's totally insane. Even when kids are diagnosed at 7, 8, or any young age of having ADHD, ADD, what? Children are supposed to play. Children are supposed to move around, jump around, be excited, have things to do. But when you immediately put this label on them and you immediately get them on medication to dewire their brain, it's just a sad time we're living in. It's a really sad time that we're living in, that we can't handle our children, that we can't find natural and holistic ways to raise them and just bring them up in this world. But we say, hey, just take this pill. She's driving me nuts. She's walking on the walls. She must have ADHD. No, your child's 8. Your child doesn't have ADHD. Your child's 8. Your child just was bored at school because it's not challenging enough for him or her. You know, this quick fix that we have in our society is truly the detriment of humanity. We've come so far in advancements like technology, but the further we've come into that in technology and medical advancements, the dumber we've become, the more reliant we are on these man-made things rather than ourselves, rather than community, rather than just tangible things that actually mean more than like what a prescription is. Just a sad time we're in. But anyway, we see here that there is a parade happening of this BS that we are seeing more and more in our society. Florida parents of LGBTQ students band together to fight anti-LGBTQ bills. And look at this video right here. Already, you see this woman. It's like, okay. Okay, when Florida parent Rose Taylor discovered that her son's new teacher would not use his preferred pronouns, it shattered Taylor's perception of safety in her local North Florida school. Taylor, who asked to be named using a pseudonym for privacy reasons, says her son declared, okay, that he was a boy at the age of 4. So he's really a daughter. But let's just go off of this article. Let me just read through it. He declared that he was a boy at the age of 4. How did the son get that? It's these parents. There are these sick parents out here. Sick parents out here trying to be a part of the cool kids. Hey, look, my son's a transgender too. Can I be a part of this crew? Declared that he was a boy at the age of 4. Do you know what that means? 4. At 4, aren't you just now learning the alphabet? What? And his teachers and fellow students welcomed his name and pronoun changes. The next year, however, his new teacher wouldn't call him by the proper pronouns. Taylor's son told his mother that the teacher could call him a girl, but no one else could. That comment sounded off alarm bells for Taylor. Adults don't get special rules for you, especially those that go against your personal rules. She continued, this is going to open him up to bullying, yada, yada, yada. So anyway, Florida had 14 bills introduced this year that would impact the LGBTQ community, including restrictions on changes to ID cards and the required use of preferred names or pronouns and more. So, yeah, so now we see an influx of parents who may have children of the community, LGBTQ plus community to be exact, trying their best to override these policies that they feel is anti their community. In recent years, education has been the target of this kind of legislation, with the so-called Don't Say Gay law and the Stop Woke Act restricting what materials and content schools can share about gender and sexual orientation. And what's funny about this is there is so much uproar that these parents are having about sexual orientation for their child, for their 8-year-old kids. Yet that same 8-year-old don't know how to divide, don't know how to multiply, don't know how to write a strong sentence, don't know what a sentence structure looks like, but they identify by these pronouns. Please address me as such. Like, you sound ridiculous. Like, where are the parents for real, for real? It's a really sad time we're in, y'all. It's a real sad time that we're in. Let's see. Martin called, sexual orientation, gender, adult issues, and argued that these laws are intended to protect. Absolutely. Martin so his last name is Martin. This senator named Bran Martin. He is the state senator in Florida. He proposed a legislation that would have banned pride flags from flying at government buildings or public schools and colleges. Many of these bills failed or died in this legislature. In an interview with ABC News, Senator Bran Martin called sexual orientation and gender adult issues, as he should. This is absolutely correct. Adult issues indeed. And argued that these laws are intended to protect children. Absolutely. These children, there are people out here, there are parents out here who are grooming their children. That's what it is. It's some demonic stuff happening in this world. Stay woke, the real woke. That's what it is. So God bless. Let's go ahead and just move on from that. Mm. All right. Lizzo has lost some weight. I think she is looking good. Let me give her some praise real quick. Show y'all. Make sure you are following along on YouTube. Look at this. Now she is purposely showing this angle. I want to see it from the front though. What's going on in the front? It's like, no, she's looking really good. I think there was another video I saw of her, and she looked. You could see her full frame, and you could clearly see she's lost weight. Let's see if I can find that. People are saying, "Hey, I guess the bullying worked," which is not okay. But I mean, it is okay in the same sense. I feel. There we go. This is the picture I was showing you. I wanted to show y'all. Well, you could still see it from the side, but nonetheless, I feel like you see more of her figure. Like she's a little bit more proportionate. And clearly, this was a choice that she made. And I think this is awesome for her and her health. Yes, we know there are skinny people who are unhealthy too. Like, that is not the point. I think the point is obvious here. Added weight does add on more health complications. That's just facts. And it's not, again, not to say that skinny people don't have their own health issues. Just because you're thinner doesn't mean you're necessarily healthier. The point is, she felt the need to do something about her weight. And I'm sure it was a spiral effect because she probably had high cholesterol, maybe she had diabetes. There are always, in addition of just more complications that she probably was experiencing with this added weight. Maybe she was heavy of breathing. Like, the list goes on and on and on. So I think this is great. I think this is a great testament to all of the women who follow her. I remember seeing a video of BBWs, big black women, who, I guess they were on a retreat or some type of movement. They were at this pool. They were all in their most of them, I think they were all in their swimwear, whether it was a bikini or a one piece or whatever it was. They were in their swimwear, and they were just flaunting and embracing their body, which, look, again, that's fine. Like, I don't want us to like shame people, body shame, all that jazz. But I saw a trend that made me concerned because a lot of the women there were outrageously overweight. Outrageously overweight. Like, it's one thing to be a thick girl, like Demi, who's not, I feel like, what thick is not big. There's different names that we would say, like black people that we would say different names to it, but nonetheless, she was a thick girl. Okay. Well, all those women at that pool that I'm referring, y'all know, there's a viral video. It's an old one though, not that old, but a few years back. Nonetheless, it was a lot of big women, like, it was outrageously overweight. There were some who are not like outrageously overweight, but there were a lot who were. And it just concerned me. And I feel like these women are not helping themselves. So shout out to Lizzo. I think she looks great. Hopefully she could continue to influence those who follow her to just take better care of your health. And it doesn't mean that she needs to be stick thin. I think she's just fine with some curves. But if there was a problem area in her health that was exacerbated by her weight, I think it's wise for her to work on her weight loss and be an inspiration for others, because she is definitely not the only one. So shout out to her. Shout out to Lizzo. All right. The DNC is a concert or what? I don't know what more we need to say about the times that we're in, but I have yet to hear a clear plan or action forward for what Kamala Harris has in mind in our future, in our American future. I really don't know what the plan is. And I think it's very interesting that it was just a good time. It was just a good time. I want to play this video. You know, those videos of random people come up to people randomly with a microphone and ask them questions, and these interviewees will just answer very honestly. That's how the Hawk girl came about. I'm gonna see what this guy has to say about this right here.
Would you rather have a democracy or access to abortions?
Either or. I feel like that's a very tough question to answer. I feel like that's almost not possible to answer. I feel like I couldn't pick one or the other.
Even if you had to choose?
I had to choose.
Can we get a final answer? I know it's hard.
I guess access to abortions.
It's Brat Summer! The queen of the brats has arrived! Yes, queen!
Do not come.
Are you as hard as I am right now?
What?
She's
Good
something
stuff.
special.
That's good stuff.
Can we please, this year, it'd be so brat, have a higher tax rate for rich white men?
Well, if we have a Democratic Congress, we certainly will.
Yeah, baby. Tax those rich old whiteys. Come on. Are you
Like, he's not one of those rich old whiteys, though.
worried Donald Trump's going to weaponize the justice system if he gets in power?
I'm concerned about Project 2025.
Oh gosh, here we go. This fear mongering every year, every 4 years is something. The sky is falling, girl. Bye. Hold on, let's see what else can I find. Anyway, Pink. I got Pink. I used to love Pink. The artist, if you're not clear on what I'm saying. Anyway, let's move on. Amanda Seales almost got her beat. Amanda Seales almost got her butt beat. Okay, let's talk about that. And I'm starting to feel sorry for her. I am. I'm starting to feel sorry for her. And it's just me. I just have a big heart. I just have a big heart. Someone with the Instagram name Slauson Girl said, I just almost fought Amanda Seales in Leimert Park, which is a park in LA and Los Angeles. And it still is unclear as to what led to her almost fighting Amanda Seales, but there is a video that I saw of the fight almost happening, but thankfully due to someone in Amanda Seales' camp being in between the two women, the fight didn't happen. But I do wonder what triggered it. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, so it says here, someone says, oh, this is her. Okay. I had to gather Amanda Seales, who knocked a phone out my hand in Leimert Park while talking mad-ish. Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. Well, Michelle did not grow up on the east side of South Central. I'm not letting no Hollywood 304 or clout chaser disrespect me. Okay, let's take a look at these posts that she made. And she has on Instagram, but I'm seeing it on my Twitter. So there we go. Amanda was in Leimert Park having an everything must go sale, and I had someone else make the introduction so she didn't feel like I approached her wrong. I stood by for 5 minutes after she told me to give her a second, as she took photos and spoke with someone else. I tried to have a discussion with Amanda Seales about someone who she had on her platform that was extremely harmful to me. This was not to try and dictate who she invites on her platform, but to give her context on the local journalism landscape so she knew exactly what she was looking at. I have navigated this space since returning to LA from college in 2018, and it's treacherous. I want to stop there real quick. Stop right there real quick, because it is you trying to dictate who she invites on her platform. Here's the thing. Look, and I'm not trying to defend Amanda Seales. Y'all know that. But come on now. Like, how? And Amanda Seales has said this. Like, I've seen her say this on her social media platforms that basically, if you don't like what she has to say, if you don't like her, don't come on her page, her platform, right? Not to say Instagram, her platform, but like her Instagram page, her YouTube page, like her pages, don't come on it and demanding her to not do this or to do that and to not invite this person on and to invite this type of people on. It's like, no, I could do what I want with my platform. I could do what I want with my profile. Like, it's not up to you. And if you don't like it, you don't have to watch. Like, it's literally just that simple. But because we live in this day and age in which everything is online, we feel like we have authority over someone else's page. And it's actually wild. It's actually wild. So for her to say this was not to try and dictate who she invites on her platform, it's ironic because it's exactly what she's trying to do. So I already know Amanda Seales reacted poorly to this because Amanda Seales has said this over and over again. Don't watch don't follow me there. Don't subscribe to me. Don't have me on your timeline. If you don't like what I have. This person goes on and says, if Black Hollywood is attempting to come into Black communities where they are not from or spend no time in, you would think they would have 5 minutes for local residents. I don't know, because Amanda Seales not necessarily Black Hollywood. Yes, she has a career in Hollywood, but does she though? Like, she's not like this like bourgeoisie type of Black Hollywood celebrity. She has talked over and over about how she's not invited to those Black Hollywood parties and she's not like them. Like, she's not one of them. So I don't really think that applies to her. And I know she's lived in LA for some years now. I know she also lived in New York for some years now. So she's been in both places for quite some time. So I don't know, for her to say like, oh, Amanda Seales only lived in like the rich part of Hollywood or just, I think she's wrong here. Ugh, I hate to defend Amanda Seales. Anyway, not triggering women who are trying to speak with them about issues that center Blackness in LA's last Black cultural hub. Okay, let's see if I can find more. Okay, so someone replies and says, girl, nobody cares about your statement. You put your cameras in Amanda Seales' face, so she pushed it away. You went there to be antagonistic, and now you're pressed because Amanda didn't engage you. This is a bad look for you. You're clout chasing, and it's pathetic. I think that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. Because stop acting like you're entitled for what someone else has in regards to what they put out in their social media platform. Like, I don't care what type of journalist you are. I don't care if you even find yourself to be more of a journalist than Amanda Seales or, whatever the case is. I think that's so silly. That mindset is so silly. Like, you're not entitled to how she dictates her social media platform. Anyway, so I wish I could find that video. Let's see if I can find it still. Child, everything you can find on Twitter. So we'll find it. Give me 1 second, child. Give me 1 second. And then apparently, I remember she said she was on tour. She came out on tour shortly after her interview with Shannon Sharpe, calling him out, making it seem like he made her feel unsafe, saying all these dog whistling terms and phrases to make her yet again another victim. I wish I could find the video, I can't find it. But anyway, there's another video I want to show y'all about about her. Okay, yeah, but yeah, so she was on tour and her tour is now canceled because of Zionists, she says, harassing her and causing her to have to cancel her tour, her whole tour. Mind you, you would think it's like just a show or two, but a tour. Now, I'm wondering if this is all the way true. Like, because I'm wondering if Amanda Seales, is she really selling out tours? You know, the spaces that she's having her shows at. I don't know. I could assume maybe not. I don't know. Especially with all the hate that she's been getting. It seems like it's getting a lot of hate. So I don't know how strong of a support system her fans give her for her to be substantiated with her tour sales. So I think this may be an easy out and an easy excuse to say, hey, I have so many Zionists just coming against me. I gotta cancel the whole tour. Like, I don't know. So yeah, maybe that's it. I know she's been very vocal about her support with Palestine. So maybe that is another reason why. But it's a lot going on with her. But let's go ahead and play this video. Ever since she's been very vocal about her lack of support towards Kamala Harris and calling Kamala Harris out to the carpet, she's been getting a lot of backlash, even more than what she's already been getting just for being her annoying self, because she is annoying and she doesn't take accountability well, and all of that is still very much true. So there's a lot of things that she's experiencing and has experienced in Hollywood that I do feel is warranted. But there are some things where I feel like I don't think this is right? So I don't think it's right for her to have gotten jumped or get the pounds beat out of her, whatever the term is, from this random person, Slauson Girl, just because Slauson Girl didn't like who Amanda Seales had on her platform. And I don't think that's appropriate. I don't think Amanda Seales was deserving of that. That's one. And I don't think Amanda Seales is deserving of getting the hate and backlash for being open about not all the way like in support of Kamala Harris or at all. Like, not in favor of her at all. And I don't think it's right for Amanda Seales to get backlash for her support of Palestine. So let's go ahead and watch this video real quick and see what she says here.
Cared about me. Capitalism never cared about me. And, sure as hell, this slave owning forefathers America has never cared about me. Mm-hmm. So that has always been something that mattered to me. Like, of course, everybody wants to be useful. Nobody wants to be used. So when I look at people like D.L. Hughley, like Ricky Smiley, people like Yvette Nicole Brown, like Jason Lee, etc., and I see them so casually mention my name in a demeaning context that discredits me, I say to myself, they must not see me as a human. Wow. They're just seeing my commentary. Like, these are people who have actually met me, who have my phone number, who in some cases have been to my home, people who I have praised, I've paid reverence to, who I've sought guidance from, who I've heralded outside of their presence. They are able to access me for clarity. Mm-hmm. and invite me into their space to say, hey, like, can you speak to this more? And instead of doing so, they've chosen to simply use me. And I believe it's because they've disconnected from their humanity. And there are so many cases where one can say, like, clearly this person is emotional right now, so let's not judge them. Let's give them an opportunity to clarify once they've calmed down, right? That's something that they have chosen not to do. And that's being human, is to do that. And I know that there have been so many times where I have been guilty of the same and failed to be that for other people. And unfortunately, it has taken me not being treated that way
Okay, that's enough. All right. So she feels like Yvette Nicole Brown, DL Hughley, who has been just paid, just back blown out by the DNC. My goodness, this man is going on a tour of how much we should vote blue no matter who. It's actually quite disgusting. It's quite disgusting. I used to be a fan of DL Hughley as far as his commentary. I used to follow his he would have several different short run talk shows. I remember watching them on TV One, and that suddenly just got canceled. And he then would have shows on YouTube or just on a particular website, another website. I used to follow him along these different platforms and was so just enthralled in his commentary. But I think maybe the difference is at that time when I was following him, I was in the camp of vote blue no matter who. So it made sense for me. But now being just enlightened to just how the media paints things and doing my own research and Freckles Bay, just all of that has opened my eyes to just the BS of this world and the political game that we're in. So anyway, I support Amanda Seals. Here. I support her here. But God bless her. I mean, I wish her well. And I hope she is safe. All right, I'll wrap it up here, y'all. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for your support. And I will check in with you all next time. Peace.